everyone, there are less than 2 weeks left until the new year, which means it's time to immerse yourself in the festive atmosphere. I don't know about you, but I love reading quality fantasy books before the new year. And if they have a wintry atmosphere, it's really a gem. So make yourself some tea, grab something sweet, and get ready for the best fantasy book series. Actually, there will be one more fantastic series, but I think that's not a problem. Yes? If you want to immerse yourself in a true fairy tale, recall old stories that have been with you since childhood, Cinderella, Merlin, Robin Hood, and others, then this series is for you. The first kidnappings happened 200 years before. Some years it was 2 boys taken, some years 2 girls, sometimes one of each. But if at first the choices seemed random, soon the pattern became clear. One was always beautiful and good, the child every parent wanted as their own. The other was homely and odd, an outcast from birth, an opposing pair, plucked from youth and spirited away. 4 years have passed since the headmaster of the school for good and evil last abducted 2 children from Gavaldon to teach them at his school. Now he will come again, in the form of a shadow, to steal another pair of children. Will he succeed this time, given the villagers' determined stance? Whom will he choose for the school for good and evil this time? There is a magical atmosphere, a school, and a wonderful plot. Some might say these are children's books, but I am ready to read them even now, and I'm not 10 anymore. So take a risk, read, and don't forget to check out my other video, Books with Movies, in which this book also participated. I had a rather interesting story with the following cycle. I started reading it a long time ago, but because of sense of harsh bullying, I didn't continue reading and greatly regretted it. But literally, this summer the cycle Cruel Prince by Holly Black was finally read. Jude was 7 when her parents were murdered and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous High Court of Fairy. 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong there, despite her mortality. But many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Cardan, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. To win a place at the court, she must defy him and face the consequences. Personally, for me, this is a truly an exciting journey through the land of fairy, showing that not all main heroines are sweet and princesses. Throughout the cycle, Jude not only competes for her own happiness, but also for the life of her country, to save her family and her love. It is the first book about fairies that I have gotten to know, and for me it was a really fairy tale. It is a cool fantasy with a main character who can stand up for herself, which is rare, and if you are not yet familiar with it, now it's time to add this book to your reading plans. I read the next series in electronic format, but it didn't make it any less magical, and this is the Talon series by Julie Kagawa. For a period on BookTok, everyone was talking about the story, but now it seems to have been forgotten. So I would like to draw attention to the story for those who are not yet familiar with it, so that you can enjoy this incredible story. Dragons, they were almost exterminated, but now they are ready to return and conquer the world. The Order of St. George is legendary warriors who will stop at nothing to wipe dragons off the face of the earth. Amber is a dragon, ruthless, swift and beautiful. She has 3 months to learn to hide her true nature and become a deadly weapon in the hands of the secret organization Talon. Garrett is a soldier of the ancient Order of St. George who hunts dragons, and he has a few days to find and kill a fire-breathing monster, Amber. This is a truly an incredible story with a cool idea that you can talk about for a long time. However, I still believe that no one can tell us about the book better than the author. I quote, "Talon is a story about othering and how we perceive those who are different than us. Those who look different, talk different, see the world differently. We don't understand them, and so they must be bad. When if we just sat down and had a real conversation, we might discover that we are much more alike than we thought. If we could all take that first step toward acceptance and understanding, we might make the world a kinder place. Think of all the things we could learn if we saw the world through another's eyes. That's not say we will discover dragons have been living among us all this time, but you never know. Since we have started talking about dragons, I have to tell you about this incredible series, and it's The Black Witch by Laurie Forest. I stumbled upon it by chance while picking out a book at the bookstore. Honestly, the series is rarely talked about on Book Talk, and I have never heard of it before, but my intuition didn't let me down. Ellerin Gardner is the granddaughter of the last prophesied Black Witch, Carnissa Gardner, who drove back the enemy forces and saved the Gardner people during the Realm War. But while she is absolute spitting image of her family's grandmother, Ellerin is utterly devoid of power in a society that prizes magical ability above all else. When she is granted the opportunity to pursue her lifelong dream of becoming an apothecary, Ellerin joins her brothers at the prestigious Verpex University to embrace a destiny of her own, free from the shadow of her grandmother's legacy. But she soon realizes that the university is a treacherous place for the granddaughter of the Black Witch. As evil looms on the horizon and the pressure to live up to her heritage builds, everything Ellerin thought she knew will be challenged and torn away. Her best hope of survival may be among the most unlikely band of rebels, if only she can find the courage to trust those she is being taught to fear. In conclusion, I want to say that the story is truly worth reading. Even though I have only read the first part, but I highly recommend it. It has everything a good fantasy needs. An interesting world, witches, dragons, a magical school. It's something that will transport you into a real fairy tale. This next book is available only in one translation, and unfortunately it's Russian, but it's hard to not mention it. And it's Pandemonium by Evgeny Gaglaev. Mysterious mystical stories attract everyone, and how could they not? People have always been surrounded by all kinds of mysteries and enigmas, their roots stretching back to the most ancient and darkest of times. Tales and myths from various cultures tell us about supernatural events, many of which bear no relation to actual historical or scientific facts. It's not always necessary to seek an explanation or meaning behind what has happened. Some things are better accepted as they are, no matter how fantastical they may seem. And sometimes it's better to forget what occurred entirely and tell no one to avoid trouble. There are secrets so terrifying that it's better not to know the whole truth about them. As the saying goes, curiosity kills the cat, so why stir up a dangerous pest? The city of Klikovo harbored many dark secrets, and by sheer coincidence, the Pandemonium Academy happened to be located there. For me, it was indeed such a simple, magical and wonderful book that made me recall the series that everyone loves at the time, the Zodiac Signs, and its great sense of humor allowed you to escape many problems. I haven't yet had the chance to get acquainted with the next trilogy, but it seems perfect for winter reading. It's incredible, romantic, winter fantasy, Red Winter by Annette Marie. Amy has spent her entire life hiding from the creatures that hunt her. The savage earth spirits are determined to kill her before she can become the living host of a goddess. So she stays hidden until the day she saves the life of one of her hunters. Shiro isn't the harmless fox spirits thought he was. He is mysterious, cunning, unpredictable, and now hers to command. He is sworn to pay his debt to her, but he doesn't know who she is. If he finds out, he will kill her. But she can't spend him away, not yet. Her future isn't what she thought. The lies surrounding her fate have begun to unravel, and she needs answers before time runs out. Answers that lie in the spirit realm. Shiro can take her there, if she dares to trust him. And only then will she find out how deep the gods' treachery runs. Japanese mythology, a winter atmosphere, an exciting story, and of course magic. I don't know about you, but I already really want to start reading this story. Finally, I am going to cheat a little and tell you about a fantastic series instead of a fantasy one, but it's just as awesome. Personally, I haven't had the chance to get acquainted with it yet, but I already know that it will be an out-of-this-world experience. And these are the Lunar Chronicles by Marisa Mayer. Humans and androids cross the record streets of New Beijing. A deadly plague ravages the population. From space, a ruthless lunar people watch, waiting to make their move. No one knows the Earth's fate. Hints on one girl, Cinder, a gifted mechanic, is a cyborg. She is a second-class citizen with a mysterious past, reviled by her stepmother and blamed for her stepsister's illness. But when her life becomes intertwined with the handsome Prince Kai's, she suddenly finds herself at the center of an intergalactic struggle and a forbidden attraction. Caught between duty and freedom, loyalty and betrayal, she must uncover secrets about her past in order to protect her world's future. I have read another book by the author during the 24-hour marathon. You can go to check it out, the link will be here or here, but the series is the pinnacle of her work so far, so it's definitely worth getting acquainted with. I highly recommend it, and I will also to get to know it myself in the near future. That's all for now, thank you for watching this video till the end, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and see you next time. Bye bye!